If you need more sales in your TPT shop, then you need more views. Having more people see your products then will hopefully lead to people purchasing your products more. So if you're looking to get more views on your TPT shop, then you need to make sure you have plenty of views. In this video, I'm revealing my top 3 traffic sources. I don't think they'll surprise you, but they might surprise. Well, here, I'll say it this way. If you've been around, they won't shock you. But if you have not been around and you're watching this, then they might shock you because they're things I talk about all the time, but they're maybe not the things that you think off the top of your head are gonna drive the most traffic. So we're taking a peek into my business and showing you what's going on behind the scenes in my business. So that's the goal of today. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button down below so you can get all the other businessy videos sent straight to your home feed. And don't forget to click on them and click like, because when you click like, YouTube's like, oh, they like this, I will show them more. So let's go find a non-messy area to film. It's a good idea. All right, I have my copy, I have my data notebook and my notes, and we're gonna talk. By the way, this is gonna get an upgrade. I'm gonna make like a data binder coming soon. That's one of my summer projects, so we'll see how that goes. But I wanted to go through and just look through my top 3 traffic sources. So they're pretty much always the same. Number 2 and number 3 sometimes flip around, but basically here's how it goes. Number 1 traffic source is always TPT itself. This is why we post on a marketplace, because when someone is looking for something, they oftentimes will go to TPT itself and type in the search bar and look for something. This is really important to note because even, yes, people who make 5 figures a month, TPT is still driving a lot of the traffic. So what that tells me is that you need to make sure that if you're looking for traffic, the first thing you need to do is make sure that you are getting people to your listings from TPT. So I mean specifically, if they are searching on TPT, that they can find your listings. So for this, you want to make sure that you are really optimizing your product listing, specifically in a couple places. Number 1, in your title, you want to make sure your title has keywords that people are searching for. So if they are searching for fractions centers, then you need to have in your title fractions centers if that's what your product is, and then more descriptive words so that people know what it is. Your title, the whole purpose of your title is to explain in common words that people are using what your product is about. So you want to make sure you use a good bit of your title, and you want to make sure you're using keywords, which just means things that people are typing in. The easiest way to find keywords is honestly just on TPT. I just type in like what I would call my product and see what populates. You can also do this on Pinterest, is my second favorite place to go, because on Pinterest, when you type something in, it pops up with like little things. Let me show you. So when I type into Pinterest, it will pop up at the top with different options already, and these are things that people are commonly searching for. So fraction centers for 3rd grade, for 4th grade, I can't read the other ones because they're backwards, equivalent, 2nd grade, math. Those are all things that people are searching for when they're looking for fraction centers. Now, obviously, Pinterest is not where they're purchasing things on TPT, but it is a good way to find those different options for different keywords. Now, you don't want your title to be like fraction centers, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, math. Like, that's ridiculous because people don't talk like that. You do want it to sound right, and don't include anything that's not what your product actually is. So if your product is for 3rd graders, don't say it's for 1st graders because that's not the same thing. Just make sure that you are being very specific in your product and having those keywords. The other things you want to look at are the SEO in your description. So this is having more keywords in your description. In your description, it's really helpful to have those different keywords in there. So in the description, you might say you can use these fraction centers for 2nd grade or for 3rd grade math, and that way you've got 2nd grade and 3rd grade in the description. This is super helpful in making sure that you're showing up for more things like that. And your description is extra helpful to make sure that everything is written out in a way that people talk. We're not just keyword stuffing, which means throwing out random keywords. That's not something that TPT likes to see, and they will punish you for that, so don't do that. The other thing is that when you look at your description, the first 3 lines will pop up when someone is searching. Why this is important is because when someone searches on TPT, they see that first part of your description. So you want to make sure that first part of your description catches their attention and tells them who this product is for or what problem it's going to solve. So you don't want to start your description with, this product has 10 pages, because that's not helpful. What you want to start your description with is, springtime can be really difficult. So keep your 3rd grade students engaged in math class with these spring themed fractions centers. Okay, that sentence is going to hook a lot more people in than, this product has 10 pages. You want to make sure that the first few sentences are things that are going to get people interested and make them want to click. So think, what is something that's going to make someone want to click? And if I were you, I would definitely study some copywriting, and by that I mean I'm studying copywriting at the moment, so highly recommend, because it does help with things like that. The third thing you want to look at is your cover. Your cover is the first picture on your product listing, and this is really important because your cover pops up in search. So when someone's searching, they see your title, they see the first 3 lines of your description, and they see your cover. Which means you need to make sure that your cover is good, because if your cover is ugly, they're not going to click on it. If your cover is not helpful, they're probably not going to click on it. They're going to look at the products that have covers that are most helpful or best to click on. So you want to make sure that that is yours. So what I mean by this is you want large text on your cover. You don't need the whole title, just the most important parts. You want to have large images on your cover so that people can see what that product is going to look like when they make it. I will link a video down below all about covers because it is super helpful. I might also have one on titles, so I will link that below too. And I also have some cover templates, so if you're struggling with covers, I have those available in my TBT shop. So I will link those 3 things down below as resources for you. So make sure if you're looking to improve your traffic to your resource from TPT that you're looking at your title, your description, and your cover. I love starting here because it's like we don't have to add anything yet. But next up, we're gonna add some stuff. But first, coffee break. All right, I'm not really good with using my data notebook all the time, but in October and in September and last April and pretty much every single month I'm looking through. Yep, almost every month. Almost every single month. The second best top seller, top traffic earner in my TPT shop is my blog. So my blog is my website, Becca's Music Room, and this is where I post blog articles that talk all about music lessons. I typically post them once or twice a month, just depending on the month. I shoot for twice a month, but the last couple months but I have these available for people to read. People find my blog through SEO, so searching on Google, you know, I need music lessons for Hispanic Heritage Month. Mine actually pops up really high for that one, which I'm very proud of. Or they also find them from things like on Pinterest. I send people to my blog from Instagram, from my email, from all those things so that I get plenty of traffic to my blog, and I have the best traffic rate of going from my blog to TBT. This is super, super, super important because people who have never heard of me or have never heard of TBT are able to go to my blog because they're searching for something and they can find my products that way. They may never have bought anything off TBT before. They may not even know what it is, but they can go to my blog and they can find answers to their questions and they can get it there. I have had my blog for 7 years now, so it is not a new thing, but it has been absolutely instrumental in getting people to my TBT shop. I especially love my blog because it is not social media. When you post on social media, something is available for, you know, 24 hours and then not really anything more. I usually can see that my views on like Reels on Instagram will get most of its views in the first 24 hours. I might get a few more in the next 24 hours, so 48 total. And after 2 days, it's absolutely crickets. So it's really helpful to have a blog because that doesn't happen on the blog. Instead, people go on my blog and they are able to actually get answers and they're able to go to the blog posts that are old. My blog posts that do really well are ones that have been around for a long time and lots of people have clicked on them and lots of people have checked those out and lots of people have clicked links in those blog posts to go purchase things. It is super helpful to have blog posts because they get better with time. This is really important because time is something that we don't have a lot of, especially if you do this as a side hustle. You don't have time to waste on things. So you have to make sure you're putting your time into things that matter. And one thing that I never regret, that I'm always happy that I did, is writing blog posts, because the more blog posts I write, the better the income comes in and the more consistently it does, because it will continue to come in year after year from those same blog posts that I already wrote. I've actually seen this really interestingly over on my other TBT shop, Becca's Bible Class. When I started it, I was able to, when I started that one, I started the blog, the TBT shop, and my email list all at the same time. And I have seen recently that lots of people have been clicking from my blog to TBT and purchasing things, which is really funny because I haven't written any blog posts in like 3 years. Like, y'all, it's been a long time. I have not touched that website and it still generates traffic for me every single month. Not quite on the same scale because I don't put as much effort into it, but I do still make a large chunk of my money from my blog, which is amazing. So blogging is the best. And if you're curious, by the way, because I do have a YouTube channel, whether like the blog or the YouTube channel does better, it's the blog. The blog does way better. Everyone who's like, video is the future and you know, you don't need blogs because blogs are dead and you should just blah, 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 blah. They're all wrong. I can tell you, I have a blog and I have a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel has like 10,000 subscribers. Like, it's not, you know, puny, and especially for something as niche as elementary music, like that's doing pretty well. And my blog makes more money than my YouTube channel every single month. Every single month. So if you're wondering, you're debating, you're thinking which one's better, it's definitely the blog. So we have TBT as traffic item number 1, blogging as traffic item number 2. I'll link some stuff down below about blogging if you want to get started, by the way. And traffic item number 3 is my email list. So I make a lot of money from my email list, and specifically I find that email has the best ROI, which means return on investment. So the time that I put into it, I get way more out of email than anything else, especially during sales or other things like that where it's something time specific. So if there's a sale, I make way more money on email because I'm sending people to the sale from my email list. I'm also making quite a bit of money on other platforms off of TBT because I have my email list. I can get people on my email list and I can send them to different places. So I can send them to my blog so they can read them. I can send them to my TBT shop so they can buy things. I can send them to my courses and they can purchase those. I can send them helpful information just to be nice, because that's good too. And so having an email list gives you a lot of options and also gives you, frankly, a lot of money once you actually put some effort into it. And if you are cultivating those relationships with people, not just like selling and selling, you know, I mean, you know, you get those emails from stores that literally send you like 4 in a day, every single day. And they're always like, we're having a sale, we're having a sale. I'm like, you just had a sale yesterday. I'm not that dumb. But clearly it's working for them because they keep doing it. But we want to do it as a much more intentional relationship building tool. And so yes, sell to them, but also, you know, be helpful. Email and blogging are both also really helpful because both of them are things that you own, whereas on TBT, you don't own that platform. And I really like having those options as well. So like being able to send people off of TBT, being able to own my email list and my blog and things like that. Now, the funny thing about the email list and the blog situation is that I only have people on my email list from them checking out my blog or my YouTube channel or something like that. But most of my people who come to my email list are from my blog anyway. So if I didn't have the blog piece, then I wouldn't have that email piece either. So it kind of feeds back and forth because then people get on my email list, then I send them to my blog post and they go read the blog post, which also, by the way, might skew up the numbers a little bit, because if you go to my email, you click on a blog post and then you purchase something, TBT is gonna count that as coming from my blog, whereas maybe they're coming from my email. Or it might even be the other way around. You know, they might read a blog, join the email list, get an email, click on that one, and now they're on TBT. The other thing I will say about all these statistics on TBT is that just like I just mentioned, they're not always right, because you have a lot of instances, especially these days, I would say, with people doing purchasing on their phone, because you can't purchase TBT stuff on the app. But a lot of people will look at Instagram on an app or Pinterest on their app or things like that. You also have where people might see something at home and then they go and purchase on their school computer. So that would show up as coming from TBT instead of from, you know, wherever they saw it because they switched computers. Or same thing, if I'm looking at something in Pinterest, I see it in the app, I'm not gonna buy it right now, I'm gonna buy it later, then it shows up as being something different. So take all of this with a grain of salt, but from things that we can track, I can tell you every single month, it is TBT, blog, and email. Every once in a while, these two will flip-flop and the email will go over blog, but I never have anything trump those two. They're always the two highest. And again, they feed into each other, so they coexist in harmony anyway. Having these three parts of my business have made a huge difference in sales and relationships and just the business in general, because they all serve a different purpose. You have TBT that has the actual products on them and people can search and find them there or purchase from somewhere else. You have the blog where I'm providing free, helpful content to people and giving them the option to purchase if they want or join the email list to get more information. And then you have the email list where I'm sending helpful, useful information to your email twice a week. And sometimes those are products and sometimes they're not products because, you know, I try to have a mixture so that we're not constantly just being like, buy my stuff, but having helpful things as well. And so these three things are three of the big pillars of my business and what I would like to help you have in your store. So my ultimate goal for you, here's my goal for you, is if you're like, I want this thing to be a business and I want it to go really well, I want you to have the different pillars in your business. You need to have your products, you need to have content marketing, and you need to have an email list. Your fourth one is I do want you to have social media because you get a lot more interaction with your customers on social media. It's not necessarily for me as much of a selling point as it is like news and talking to people and cultivating those relationships, but you're really able to like communicate better on social media than other places. So those are what I consider the four pillars of your business and what you really want to start thinking about. Now, if you're brand new, I wouldn't stress about a blog or those kind of things. Just like get your feet wet, get your products figured out. But once you know what you're doing, that's what we're aiming for, is having the four pillars to hold your business up and really make it sustainable long term. And then once we have those, we can add more things later, which we'll talk about later. But for now, we'll just stick with those four. If you're interested to learn more about those, I will leave a link to some blogging stuff down below, as well as a link to some email stuff down below, as well as the things I told you I would link to for the first one. And really make sure that you are looking at all of these different aspects of your business as you are creating your business. If you found this helpful, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.